Welcome to another video about Hack Battles prototype. Today I'm gonna go over one of the most important and fundamental aspects of Hack Battles tactics, which is the communication system. So what is communications or comms? Basically, it is a system that makes positioning on the board very critical. The idea is that each hack, in order to be controlled by the player, must maintain a line of communications, as I will explain shortly. If a hack does not get communications, then it is inactive. It becomes inactive until it regains comms, and while it is inactive, a player cannot control it. It cannot tell it to move or use actions. And what happens is that at the end of the turn, when a player passes past turn, every hack in his team which is inactive acts according to a very simplistic AI that you can read more about in the tutorial section of the game, but is basically very poor and attacks very poorly, which makes it a great disadvantage to have hacks inactive. So, how do hacks maintain comm? Well, the rule is simple. A hack maintains comm by simply having a path unblocked from it to the source of its communications. So if I move Turret over here, for instance, Turret and King, basically every pawn hack, needs to maintain comms to its main hack. Both Turret and King needs to maintain communication to Tiger in order to remain active. So any path, this is one kind of path, this is another, which allows communications to pass without being hindered, keeps Turret active. As for the main of a team, the main needs to maintain communications to his side of the board, to the player, which is represented by these blue and green lines respectively. So Tiger needs to remain within a clear path, not necessarily a straight path, but a clear path to one of these at least blue tiles. Because Tiger is the main, it means all commands, the player acts within this node, as it is called in game terms, through it. That is why when the main is destroyed, the player loses. It is also why all pawn hacks need to maintain communications through the main. And that means that if the main becomes inactive, no other hack in your team could remain active. They all become inactive, even if they maintain communications to the main. So the main is inactive, it can't transmit your commands to the pawns. To understand more clearly how hacks block comms, you can just hold right alt on your keyboard. It just gives you a very simplistic UI showing you what blocks comms. So every red tile here blocks comms for your hacks. So you can see walls naturally block comms, also opponent hacks. Your hacks do not block comms for you, which is visible. Black tiles represent areas where if one of your hacks will stand there, he will be out of comms. By the way, by default, that map is generated for your main. If you select anyone else, it will generate that map for it, although currently it does not really matter. As an example, let me show you what happens when you lose comms. So right now I've moved, as you can see, both King and Turret still maintain comms to Tiger, and Tiger maintain comms to the blue line. But now I'm gonna pass to the other side of the wall using an attack called Pierce that allows me to just jump to the other side like so, and now I am inactive, and not only is Tiger inactive, all of his allies are inactive, as you can now see. There is no possible path that leads from Tiger back to the blue lines, and so he is inactive. You can tell they are inactive by this red aura, red flame around their gem, around their team gem, or when you activate the full HUD, there's this broken satellite symbol in here too that says inactive. This is how you know they're inactive. Let's see, once I pass the turn, they'll just start moving on their own, doing whatever the basic AI tells them to do. So this is everything you need to know about communications that is not specific to specific abilities or subroutines. I hope you enjoyed the video, and good luck with the game.